The terrifying murder of Jenny Nicholl in a quiet town in the north of England called Richmond. There lived a 19-year-old girl named Jenny Nicholl. She was full of life, cheerful, with a smile that could light up any room, passionate about music and nature. But in June 2005, Jenny's life would change forever. Today, we are going to tell the terrifying story of Jenny's disappearance and murder. A case that shocked an entire town and still puzzles investigators and her family to this day. Jenny worked in a local shop and spent her free time playing guitar with friends. She loved camping, being in contact with nature, and spending time with her family. Her parents, Anne and Brian, were simple people who supported her in everything. Her father was in the military and always taught Jenny to value honesty and courage. To those who knew her, Jenny seemed like an ordinary young woman, but she was special, full of dreams and plans for the future. She dreamed of traveling, playing in bands, and maybe even pursuing a life connected to music. Nothing, absolutely nothing, indicated that danger was near. It was June 30, 2005, an ordinary Thursday. Jenny told her parents she would spend the night camping with friends. She got into her white Rover and left. But she never reached her destination. The first signs that something was wrong only appeared a few days later. Her car was found abandoned in front of the Holly Hill pub in Richmond, with no sign of Jenny nearby. Her family was desperate. They called the police, started searches, asked friends and neighbors, but no one knew where Jenny had gone, or what had happened that night. The disappearance of a healthy, vibrant young woman quickly caught the attention of the local media. Reports began asking, where was Jenny? Who could have done this? And, little by little, clues began to emerge pointing to someone close to her, someone she trusted. The main suspect emerged, David Hodgson, a 45-year-old man, married and father of 2 daughters. David had maintained a secret relationship with Jenny, which began when she was still very young, and it had become a dark and manipulative bond. When David discovered that Jenny was seeing his brother, a feeling of possessive jealousy took over him. The investigation concluded that he felt a need to control Jenny, to keep her under his influence, and that, most likely, this had led to the crime. Jenny, for her part, was conflicted. She had feelings for David at some point, but she also sought her own freedom. This emotional tension turned their relationship into a dangerous mix of fear, manipulation, and desire for independence. Even without a body, the police did not give up. They discovered Jenny's personal belongings in a forest called Sandbeck Plantation, her pajamas, a teddy bear, and a portable radio. These items were crucial in linking the location to her disappearance. In addition, text messages sent from Jenny's phone after her disappearance were subjected to forensic analysis. The writing style indicated that it was not Jenny who sent them, but David, attempting to deceive everyone and make it seem like she was still alive. More evidence emerged. David had rented cars on specific dates, coincidentally matching the times of the messages. The routes and mileage matched the places where he could have taken Jenny. All of this formed a detailed picture of a premeditated crime, but the investigation faced enormous challenges. Without a body, without direct witnesses, every detail had to be analyzed, every clue examined meticulously. What the police were able to prove was a true detective work, piecing together elements that, individually, might have seemed insignificant, but together told a dark and terrifying story. David Hodgson was not just jealous, he was obsessive and manipulative. According to forensic psychologists, he had traits of extreme control and an inability to accept rejection. He related possessively, seeing Jenny as someone who needed to be dominated. When this relationship began to unravel, jealousy turned into rage, and rage into violence. This type of behavior is not uncommon in crimes of passion, but the meticulous way he tried to cover everything up, using Jenny's phone and calculated routes, demonstrates cold, calculated planning. What happened that June night was the result of a criminal impulse, fueled by years of obsession and emotional manipulation. In 2008, the case finally went to trial. David Hodgson was charged with murder, even though Jenny's body had not been found. The court examined every detail, the items found in the forest, the message patterns, the car rentals. The defense tried to argue a lack of direct evidence, but the combination of circumstantial evidence and forensic analysis was convincing. The jury reached a unanimous verdict: David Hodgson was guilty of the murder of Jenny Nicholl. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, with a recommendation to serve at least 18 years before any possibility of parole. The case of Jenny Nicholl became a reference in criminal investigations. It showed how text message analysis, circumstantial evidence, and route tracking can solve a crime, even when there is no body. But despite the conviction, Jenny's body was never found. Her family remains without answers about the final fate of their daughter, and the town of Richmond was never the same again. This story is a dark reminder: trust, obsession, and jealousy can have irreversible consequences. And justice, as perfect as it tries to be, does not always give us all the answers. What would you do if you were in Jenny's family's place, or in the investigators trying to piece together this puzzle? Comment below and share your opinion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more real, shocking, and true stories. Until the next story.